Hello everyone, today we are going to learn about the structure and elements of narrative writing. This is a very important academic topic because this is taught in almost every school and you need to have a firm hold on this topic to understand it perfectly. So why wait? Let's start with it. The topics we'll be covering in today's video are what is a narrative, parts of a narrative, and elements and structure of a narrative. So let's get on to it. So our first topic for today is what is a narrative. So a narrative is typically a story in which the main character faces a problem or involved in an event. This can either be an event happening in your own life, it can be a story giving a moral, or it can also be a story for entertainment. Parts of a narrative: exposition or introduction, rising action, climax, falling action, and the resolution. Now let me explain each of these parts in detail. The exposition is also called the introduction and goes in the beginning of the narrative essay. It is usually used to give a short introduction of the setting, the theme, and the characters. It also gives a lead to unravel the story properly in the further paragraphs. After the exposition comes the rising action. The rising action is the place where the action starts to begin and the action leads to the main events gradually. Here the excitement level increases a little. After the rising action comes the climax. This is the point of the story in which the main events of the story happen, or the main character faces a problem or a conflict in its journey throughout the story. This is the point in the story at which the excitement is at its peak. After the climax comes the falling action. In this point of the story, the main events start to come to a resolution. The conflict of the story starts to resolve, the problems start to unravel, and the excitement of the story starts to decrease. The last part of the narrative essay is the resolution. Here, the climax comes to an end and all the action gets resolved. Next is how long should a narrative be? This is a very commonly asked question and I would say that it depends on the story you are writing. It can range from just a 200-word short paragraph to a long 5-page story. It is up to you, but you should follow any guidelines given to you by your instructor or school. Next is elements of a narrative. Number 1 is plot, which is the sequence of events that are being followed in a story throughout. It comprises of all the parts I just told you in the previous few minutes. Next is setting, which is when and where the story is taking place. Number 3 is point of view, which is the way you are narrating the story. It can either be first person or third person. Next, number 4 is characters. I don't think you need any explanation on this. Number 5 is conflict, which is the main problem the main character faces in a. Number 6 is theme, which is the main idea or the underlying point a writer wants to convey through the story. This is a typical structure of a narrative essay. It is not necessary that you follow this. The first paragraph, the introduction, has the exposition and part of the rising action. Next paragraph, the body, has the remaining part of the rising action and the climax. Next, the last part, the conclusion, has the falling action and resolution. This is a sample narrative which can help you understand the structure of a narrative essay. The introduction is actually the exposition. The beginning of the story is the rising action. The middle events are the climax. The end of the story is the falling action, and the conclusion is the resolution.